National Assembly through any impeachment legislation and win. So where is the space that you can engage William Ruto and be able to tell him that we are your bosses, you must do what we say? It's only in the public square. It's only on the streets. It's only in the cities. It's only in the towns. It's only in the villages. And that's where we must occupy tomorrow, with 10 million, or from 1 million going up, so that he understands that these people don't want me. I throw in the towel and we constitute what I've already outlined yesterday, or whatever it is that people believe unanimously is the good process, so that we can have fresh elections. That is entirely constitutional. And it has happened like that throughout history in many, many countries, which I don't have to list today. So let's not go back. Let's not give William Ruto respite, a breathing space. Let's move forward.
Thank you, Dr. Tari, for that. Before the next speaker comes in, I want to read for you a poem from Martin Luther King, Nathan Nimola, born in 1892 up to 1892, and then he died in 1984. He said, first they came for the communist, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialist, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionist, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So next speaker, please.
Hello, guys. If can be allowed to speak something. First, I have to say condolences to all.
Wait.
Okay.
Binadam, we don't work here that way. You carry up your hand, because all these people will start to open the mic, then how it will be. So it is important when we see your hands up. That is very key. Maj, but Binadam, go ahead before Maj, and then Tomboya.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. No, Binadam, wait. Tomboya was ahead of you. Please, just be patient. Raise your hand, and then you'll be given the mic. Let's be orderly, please. Table manners. So Tomboya, yes.
Hello, Kenyans. Good evening, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really wanted to reiterate on the point that the 5-star General Dr. Miguna has explained, but now I'll be very brief. We should be very specific, as he has always said. Let us know what we want and go for it. We are actually past anything constitutional and legal process. Let us know that anything that requires to go back to consider a procedure of constitutionalism is not for us right now. Let us be on the street and let us go by Ruto must go now. Ruto must go, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. After having that as a word, then let us go by action. Let us occupy the streets. By this time, we should not necessarily be reminding us many things, the negatives and any other thing. We should now be talking about which strategies are we employing on the streets. If we say we remove the picture of Ruto on our businesses, let that be the strategy. If we say we occupy the specific office, let that be the strategy. Let us go by action, because this action is what will make him come out. Going by saying that we must recall MPs first before Ruto has gone, that one will just continue taking us into circles. Let us focus on Ruto. As the 5-star General said, let us avoid Weston. Let us avoid his businesses. Let us be specific, and we are going to achieve it. This is a spirit that is now running with us. It is a spirit. Let us go by this spirit. Thank you. I don't want to say much. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And for the next speaker who is coming in, please, if you voted in Ruto as your president, remember, and don't forget that first of all of you guys who are in here, you are criminals. You never voted for him. What voted for him is the 2.6 billion worth of properties that you've spoiled. Brick and mortar made our president the man he is today. So please, Bin Adam, go.
Okay, thank you so much. And I would like to start by condolences to all the fallen heroes. We're still together in love and in spirit. What I would like to say here is, after watching the interview, you could clearly see that this guy is still a liar and a person who don't want to admit to the mistakes. He doesn't have the empathy. He doesn't feel how it feels to lose someone you know, someone close to you. So when I watched him and he pretends to be following up online, and the only defense he could say, you know, the BBC reported there was no massacre. So it tells you that this guy comes online, but he looks for those loopholes like yesterday. So what I would like to say is, the cause is already on and we can't back. Because for us to start regrouping again, if we stop this, it will be very difficult. But one issue I have personally is this. Like we say, Maandamano, it's every Tuesday and every Thursday. And I think we are giving them a good time to regroup and replan and re-strategize. So that's just my opinion, so that others can try to look at my perspective. Because imagine, since there was Mandamano last Thursday until tomorrow, these people have now good energy. The police have good energy to come to streets tomorrow. But if we make it consistent, like almost every day, we will exhaust them, because we know very clearly that the ratio of a policeman to the citizens, it's 1 to maybe 300. So if we make it every day, we will be able to exhaust these policemen. They can't manage us. And then if we come, like we're saying, make it 10 million strong, we will exhaust all these departments of police and the military. So that's just my opinion. I wish that most people would come out, and I wish we can increase the days, not to give them time to re-strategize and plan. And I would like to ask Daktari, now since we know clearly right now that he's playing games with us when he say he doesn't sign, but I have understood from what I've heard, I'm not pretty sure, that if the bill stays along within 14 to 21 days, automatically it becomes a law. So which means we are fighting, but the thing is still cooking. So what's the best way we can do to make sure that we don't lose this, Daktari? Thank you.
Daktari, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the short answer is yes, within 14 days, the bill is automatically law. So basically, Ruto has done nothing. There is no withdrawal of the bill. It will automatically become law, even if he doesn't sign it. That is why I was saying people who are saying Ruto has conceded are completely wrong. He waited until this time because he knows that if he doesn't sign it within 14 days, it will be law. And he's already signed the appropriation bill 2024, which means that he is spending just as much as he was before. He said that he was going to deal, like yesterday, he was asked about the offices, the illegal offices of the first ladies and the second and third ladies, and he said he was going to not fund them. But in the appropriation bill that he signed, he allocated over 557 million to these officers. They're already receiving money as he was speaking, so he knew he was lying. Don't believe anything Ruto says. Don't believe anything his office says. Don't believe anything any of his cronies say. Throughout history is to occupy all spaces. make sure they can't move, make sure they can't execute, make sure they can't do anything. So that even if they took the money, they cannot spend it. Right now, if they cannot leave State House, they can't go to the 7-star hotels, they can't fly out of the country, they can't go to their mistresses, they can't enjoy the money. So eventually, they will just have to go. And if we are 1 million to 10 million strong, we can occupy everywhere, including where he is. And he would have to take that helicopter to Congo or to any other country that he deems he can seek exile in. But Ruto should have no free space to move, and his regime. Those who are thinking that this is something to be given to Rigiji should be reminded that Ruto must go includes the entire regime. Those who are saying the military will take power do not understand the mentality or orientation of the military. The military does not fire at citizens. They join citizens when citizens occupy all public spaces. That is recorded in history. They are not like the zombies that are called police, who shoot because many of them do not even know how to write their names. And I am not saying this lightly, because you have seen the robotic nature with which the police shot everyone who was not even threatening them. So let's focus on Ruto and his regime. The gentleman called Mboya said, let's not be legal or constitutional. I have emphasized Clause 1 of the Constitution is part of the Constitution. When you are occupying public spaces and saying Ruto must go, that is a constitutional exercise. When you are removing Ruto through Clause 1, you are acting within the Constitution. There is nothing outside the Constitution. You don't need anything else. Anybody who is referring to a secondary legislation or some kind of act of parliament does not understand how law and constitution works. The Constitution is the supreme law. Any law that contradicts it is null and void. So any law that purports to claw back on our sovereignty is deemed null and void. Thank you.
Thank you, Daktari. Thank you, Daktari, for those sentiments. I think now we are clear. Everyone has understood the mission. We only have one assignment tomorrow is to occupy, occupy, occupy. Carry your bottle of water, carry your flowers for commemoration of the heroes that we've lost. Be in public spaces, occupy, occupy. Let's all be on the streets. We'll march on peacefully, and until Ruto must go is achieved. So the next speaker, please.
Can I just ask a quick follow-up question, Kinsman?
Kumbukeni, you are. I have seen you. I've seen you, but I think you have a network problem.
Yeah? My friend, there is a lady who wants to ask a follow-up question. Maybe if you don't mind, you could allow her to ask.
Yes,
What's
please.
her name, please, Daktari?
It's Nduku Kumbukeni.
Can the ladies that are here, I'm seeing Achieng, I'm seeing
it's me.
I'm seeing ladies, if you're in the room, kindly raise your hand.
She's saying her name is Nduku. Her name is Nduku.
Kumbukeni is the handle.
Kumbukeni, please.
Asante. All right, so...
But she seems to have a network problem because her nini has just been rotating.
Can you hear me?
Kumbukeni, can you hear us?
I can hear her very well. I can hear her.
Okay, proceed.
All right, okay, thank you. So, Dr. Migona, just because Ruto was very keen to keep repeating the rule of law, and this is something that these criminals who call themselves leaders do all the time so that they can justify deploying the military on the people. So, and you have said several times that the military will not shoot on the people if the people occupy. I look at the Constitution, which is the rule of law that Ruto will use to defend his actions. And in one part, it gives the people the sovereign power, but right after it, it takes away the sovereign power from the people and gives it to the presidency. So could you please address that?
Okay, so let me answer you, Nduku. The Constitution does not take power that it has given in Clause 1. Clause 1 is not negated in any part of the Constitution. The following provisions of the Constitution simply says that once the people have delegated power to someone like the president, they would exercise that power. The delegation happens at election time. But if the people believe, for instance, that the president has not done what he was elected to do, Clause 1 can always be triggered by the people. And they do not have to go to their delegate, the person they have delegated power to, for permission to get back their power. That's like saying, if you have an employee and you have given the employee the terms and conditions of employment, there is a letter of employment. They are not supposed to be insubordinative to you. They are not supposed to steal from you. They are supposed to be answerable to you when they have done something and you want to call them to account. If they disobey your orders, you can fire them. And you don't need permission from them to fire them. So what I'm saying, the Constitution is our employment letter. We gave the president or Ruto a job to do. And for 2 years, he has done no job for us. He has been mangering all over the world, going to Washington. In fact, Ruto has been traveling every single week. He has spent billions of our money. He's our employee. We are the employer. He has spent billions without permission from us. He purported to have hired a jet to Washington without our authority. There is no constitutional power he had to unilaterally take our money and hire a jet. We have Kenya Airways. That is the mode of transportation for anybody who is working for us, because Kenya Airways partly belong to us. So what I'm saying is that Ruto has abrogated every constitutional provision and every term of employment, and he stands dismissed.
Would it, a quick one, sorry, Kinsman and Hillary, would it then
No, but
be...
I think going back and forth is not useful. Once I've answered your question, I think we should move on.
You have
Yeah.
answered it, but I was going to ask as a follow-up of that, would it then be a wise choice for us to put together an indictment that lists everything that you did, so that we're not just talking about it in rooms, but we actually have a document that is saying this is why we are calling you out?
When Ruto was disobeying us, he did not come with a list. And when he was disobeying us, he already knew the terms of engagement. He knew that we did not need permission from him. We don't need a list to indict Ruto. Ruto stands indicted by his very acts. Yesterday, he sealed his fate by not even feeling sorry for families he has bereaved, for people he has caused pain to, for citizens that he has harmed and killed. And as far as I'm concerned, and many Kenyans have said this, Ruto is out of touch. Ruto is a cold-blooded murderer, and such people should be punished and not rewarded. Any day Ruto spends in State House is a day too much.
Thank you so much, Daktari. Man, people are keeping dropping. I don't know what is the problem. Check your network. It is now 8:30 here, but check your network and everything. Kingsman, can you hear me? Because I realize that you can't hear other people.
Yes, I can hear you clearly. I think there was a network problem, but I'm back.
Yeah, all the calls are dropping. I don't know why, but guys, let us check your network well. We're trying to keep it so that it can work.
I think the NIS and the Communication Authority and Safaricom and the rest, they are doing their thing. But let's focus on what we are doing.
Yeah, let us focus on what you're doing, guys. Yeah. You drop, you come back. I don't know what's happening, but it's okay. This is your hand is up sometimes. Then I change on that order. let us.
Let me go after Achieng, please, Hillary.
Okay, Achieng, go ahead.
Hillary. just kidogo too, maybe to compliment on whatever Daktari has said to Kumbukeni. I think the beauty about whatever we are going through at the moment is a feeling that is being experienced by each and every Kenyan. It is a feeling that supersedes and then it goes beyond tribal connotations. So that is even why they are having a problem on how they are going to approach this, because now the person they used to vilify all the time is Raila. Raila is not on the scene. It used to be a tribal thing, so the tribes are not here. These are feeling of whereby Punda imechoka. Punda imechoka since 1964, but today Punda iko like, I don't give an F whether I'm a Masai, a Kikuyu, a Kalenjin. I've realized the country against bad governance. He has been able to unite us against tribal affiliations. So, and he has also been able to unite us against him and his KK regime and his Akina this guy, Akina Sudi, splashing out money, opulence and all that. So already, as Daktari has said, the scorecard is out there. This guy, from the day he got into office, he never even looked at his JD. The interview that he did with the Kenyan people, he has never, ever from day one even ticked JD number one. His KPIs are uko chini. If you were to rate him between 0 and 10, ako uko -3. So there is, you see, and then there is, unajua kuna ule mtu unaambiwa utetee, unasema hata mimi simjui. This guy is at a position where it is so difficult for him to come and convince the Kenyan people that there is anything else he can do, especially the fact that he was not remorseful yesterday. I think that was the nail on the coffin.
All right, Kingsman, thank you so much. Check your network always. People keep dropping, getting a lot of messages. I don't know why, but check your network. And we have said that NIS and also the Safaricom is doing their things, but we are trying our best to make sure that the space run and very active. And let us be focused. 10 million people strong on the street in the morning. That's what we're saying. It is now 8:30, and that's where we are focused on. To see our people on the ground, to see we going on the ground in the morning, and that's the way to go. Achieng, go ahead, then Risasi, then Maj, you say hi.
Good evening, guys, and thank you, Hilary, Dr. Miguna, for this platform. My senior Achieng and Council and Kingsman ameongea nikasikia ni kama tayari I'm already getting angry again after the interview that Ruto put out yesterday, but we're going to be focused, 10 million strong. I'm just here to reiterate what Senior Counsel Dr. Miguna said when he says that we are beyond the point of talking to the government. And when he says that what we are doing is constitutionally right, I think let me just shed some background on maybe where he's coming from. So legally speaking, when a legal document is drafted, you have to look at the spirit behind that document. You know, the law is an evolving creature, so you need to look at the spirit behind that document. And when the Constitution was being drafted, Article 1 actually just says the people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. Guys, I need us to understand that we elected these people democratically to air our voices and concern. But at the same thing that I'm saying, the spirit of the document, if you look at the finance bill, the spirit behind it was not the one to tetea for the common mwananchi. This was the spirit behind it was the one for the IMF, the people who have their interests, and the tumbocrats themselves. So when the constitution was being drafted, they know this power is ours. They know the wananchi, the supreme. They know that we are the ones who elect people into power. So do not fear. Do not fear. The Constitution envisages all these scenarios. We are not out of order. We are still within the rule of law. And if at all anything, we are using the utmost Article 1. There's a reason why it's Article 1 of our Constitution, because it's supreme. So let's not fear. 10 million strong tomorrow. Let's just come out and defend each other. We fight for our rights. That's all I have to say for today.
Thank you so much, Etienne. God bless you. Thank you so much. Yep. Mobilize people. Tell them we're alive at the moment with Generali Mwenyewe at the moment. We are sharing the hashtag Ruto must go, make 10 million strong and secure our future and our country. Risasi, go ahead.
Thank you, Hilary. I think let me start by just reiterating what Dr. said yesterday. One of the things that came up was we are not going to get any kind of justice without removing Ruto in power. If Ruto is still in power, you will never get justice. And he gave so many examples yesterday. Two, protest works. So in that spirit, we should get out there and remove this guy. We didn't stop him from posting on the financial bill by going to the court or even through constitution. We did that by going to the streets, and evidence is there. If we are not sure of who we are dealing with, Ruto is a textbook definition of a dictator. And how do dictators operate? One of the fundamental characteristics of dictators is their decision-making process. Dictators make decisions through a very tiny cabal of advisors. You have a good example, Ndi and the likes. They make decisions through cronies. People are not even qualified. The likes of Farouk Kibet, somebody who doesn't have got even a job description. I think the best qualification Farouk is I don't know. I cannot even imagine, except being a friend to Ruto. And they do this through the aid of their parrots, the likes of Itumbi. Sycophants, the likes of Jakakimba, whose their role is to wake up in the morning, type what the president said, to working for president on Twitter. That is what they do. Secondly, look at how he's trying to consolidate support. He has done this through churches previously, and I think people have realized that. So he has nowhere to run to churches. That is why when he hears people occupying churches, he gets agitated. He's doing this through trade unions. Look at the likes of Atuoli. Those are the people who are supporting him. He's doing this through hijacking political parties. Recently, he has already hijacked ANC to consolidate support in parliament. He's doing this through state machinery. Recently, there was proposals to increase salary for police, and these are just aimed to consolidate his base. So, guys, we are dealing with a despot here. It's just a matter of time before we have somebody like Mugabe in the making. Other thing that is very, very much determined is control of key institutions. These are the army, the police, the civil service, state media, parliament. For now, he has control of parliament. There's nothing else you can do in parliament. Judiciary, the less we speak about it, the better. You know what happened, including swearing of judges is being done in State House, and this is the third arm of government. He's doing this through licenses, censorships. Recently, I saw KTN complaining that they were about to shut off their frequencies. This is a classic dictator we are dealing with here, guys. There's no difference between Ruto and Gaddafi or Ruto and Saddam Hussein. He's just like that Saddam Hussein who wears a counter suit. But otherwise, huyu ni Saddam. Hakuna tofauti. He's doing this through abductions. How many people were abducted in the course of last week? Arrest, dismissals, and now people are dying. There are murders. There are murders, disappearances happening all over. So if we remain with this guy in power, trust me, itakuwa worse than even before we went for this demonstration. So with that, please, let's not lose focus. The guy has to go, and the easiest way, suspend your constitution. Laws are made for men, not men made for laws. Kama ni mbaya, we can suspend the constitution. It doesn't have to be every time that sijui tutamtoa na katiba. Ruto si mtu wa kutoa na katiba. Nyi mlimuona jana na kama mtu wa kutolewa na katiba. He's not going anywhere. So if we don't remove him, then he will be stuck with us. Hiyo ndio contribution yangu, Hilary. Thanks.
Ubarikiwe sana Risasi. Asante sana. That's the spirit that we're going with. Thank you so much, guys. Keep networking together as usual. And we said that look at your right, your left, and we want to make this conversation go on. And now we want to know also the your security. And Dr. said something yesterday that if you don't have spirit of revolution, don't go outside. If you fear death, then sleep. And when you don't fear, when you know that you are fighting for your country and you're going there, then you have to be very, very vigilant all the time. Let me close your mic. Levi
Thank you.
hatufanyi kazi